All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash. We want to give double honors to our apostle and elders, Great Millstone. Where we learned this truth from and citation out there to the hopeful elect who continue to push this word in our truth, faith, and sincerity. You know, and yeah, we are the brothers here from the GMS Birmingham camp. I'm the brother Raheem, and with me,
Brother Tazaiwan.
And today, man, we just coming in the spirit of prophecy, man. Because one thing about prophecy, especially once prophecy start to come to pass, it's undeniable. You know, Baba Kusha, real quick before we start, can you get that second Ezra 9 and get to the point in like verse 5? Because at the end of the day, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua is setting up all these things for the end. You know, even John the Revelator, even though he lived 2,000 years ago and he was on the planet Earth, his vision was actually meant for now. Ezekiel, you're going to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. That didn't make sense back in the times of the disciples. But all these things make sense now. Why? Because prophecy is making itself known. You got it, bro.
Khan, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
And we can see that the end of Esau is being made manifest, man. And it's plenty of things that's happening upon the planet Earth. Sedition among men, and they're not respecting their god or kings, but also the missiles upon the scene, man. But before the missiles come, what's one of the major prophecies that must come to pass? The sea help. And that's the reason why, you know, even during that plan, demic, these devils tried to inoculate people. That was just a test run for what's going to happen in the future, in the close future. Continuing on, bro.
Khan, verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Verse 6. Even so the times also of the highs have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works and endings in effects and signs.
Yes, because in this time, this is going to be the time when Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua is going to make his name be exalted here in the West, man. But also before that time even happened, for the lack of better words, a part of those ending and effects and signs is to see him, because it's a cause to every effect, man. And a part of the effect that the Lord's going to have upon the planet Earth, there's going to be man-made famines so people can run to get to see him. You know, it's going to be quote-unquote natural disasters. Even though Yahweh Shai is in control of all these things, Esau is setting up for desperation, man. And this is saying desperate times calls for desperate measures, you know? So when things get bad, and for the lack of better words, people get uncomfortable and something happened unto them that people never thought that was going to happen, they're going to run to safety. And that safety is not going to be Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. That safety is going to be in the form of Esau Edom. You know? You got some up? Baba Bashar, you can probably get that article, that pet article, man. Because just going back, that's how a dog is, man. You know, people is going to resort back into their beast mentality. Whether it be, again, you didn't eat in a couple of days, and there's no coincidence that sneaker commercial says you're not yourself when you're hungry. That's a part of a powerful sign right there. America, which is known for fast food restaurants, you know, gluttony, fat people, overnight, people are going to be starving. It only take really, 36, to 48 hours for a lot of shit to go wrong, man, upside down, especially for the niggas who eat every 2 hours, man. So again, once these bad things start to come upon the planet Earth, people are going to resort themselves back into that beast mentality, man. You got it up.
Con. It says community pet outreach. June is National Microchip Month.
Yeah. And that proves Bishop Nate wrong right there. It's June. It is some microchips, man. You know, it is some microchips, and ultimately these was just test run, because even though they saying pets, Esau look at you as Goyim. Esau look at you as just cattle, man, for the lack of better words. And Jake basically is. Once again, things go wrong, things go bad. It's going to be the same situation like Hurricane Katrina. We're going to put a whole bunch of niggas here, and we're going to do a lot of unsavory things. You have to realize a part of Esau MO is order out of chaos. Order out chaos. When he caused the problem, but he be the same one that give you that solution. And that solution will never be in the eyes of Esau. Esau's solution will never be just trust in the Lord. No, Esau's solution is going to be a tiny device. That's going to be people's savior in that day, in the time of Jacob's trouble. When our savior is going to come from the heavens, man. That's probably in on there. Let me get that 2 Peter 2:12 for me. I'll probably push out. Because again, people being that brute beast, people being in that basically that impatient mindset. Nigga ain't eating in 24 hours. Now this nigga running just so he can get some Chick-fil-A, man. Not being patient, not being even having a sense of class. Because even the food that Esau do give you, Jake is not going to check it out. Even when you give food to a cat, a cat will smell it. You know what I'm saying? A cat can be hungry as hell, man. Or even a dog. But the more cats, in certain animals, they'll smell it, they'll look at it, and if it's not liable, they won't eat it. But certain beasts, man, once they're super hungry, they'll eat anything, like a billy goat, man. A billy goat will eat a fucking can, So imagine how these niggas is going to be when they ain't eat. It's going to get to a point when niggas start eating their shoes, start eating their clothes, and even eating their damn babies, man. And then Esau going to come with this seal. You ain't got to eat the other one. You can use this. You got it, bro.
And if I may, Salaki, what the scripture say? Woe to them that have lost patience. Woe meaning destruction, man. So if you lose patience and you go down there and you take that micro C hip, man, you're gonna be destroyed, man. But Salaki, you want that 2 Peter 2:12?
Con, beautiful point.
Con, this is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 12. But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed.
Yes, the Lord says, it says they was made to be taken and destroyed. And the reason why is because they rejected the truth. We told you what the mark of the beast was, but you rejected it. You got it, bro.
Con. Speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption.
Yes, because they were speaking evil of the sea hip, man. But now it makes more sense as we get close to the end. The scoffers, and they can't scoff on certain things now, man. Only thing they can scoff on is just quantum shit now, man. You wearing J's, They can't scoff at the doctrine, because what the Yahweh Shai said, he gave us a mouth that no man can't gainsay, So it says they speak evil of things that they understand not. One of the things that niggas can't understand is prophecy. And a part of you not understanding prophecy and foreseeing the evil, you're going to end up dying, man. That's why it says it shall utterly perish in their own corruption. Because one thing that the Lord going to do, he's not going to, for lack of better words, put something on you that you can't handle. But a lot of times niggas fall because of their own lust. Niggas is going to want to, it's going to be something simple. They just want to get back on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Want to get back in the city, want to get something to eat. Niggas is going to perish by taking their seed up or even just dying because of their own lust, man. Continuing on, bro.
Con. It said, this is like this 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 13, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as that they count it pleasure to ride in the daytime. Spots they are and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you.
And that's it, because that's really talking about the other accounts, man. Pushing forth false doctrines, because those false doctrines are spots and blemishes, man. Spoiling themselves, you think you the shit while they're deceiving while feasting with you, because you claim to be an Israelite, but you're not teaching the truth. You know, again, the MOTB is not sleeping with white women. It's not an embargo. It's not a picture of Cesare Borgia. No, it's a physical device which will go under people's skin. And if you don't believe that, we have articles and evidence to show you. And if you don't believe the articles and evidence, we have biblical proof. Because you got to go and we're going to go into a paragma, you know? But that was it on there, pretty much. You know, we probably gonna stay over until these articles. Because again, this is being made manifest. One of the most popular things here now in 2025, and even in Esau Kingdom in general, is what? Technology. And Esau is going to use this technology in his advantage. In his advantage, he's going to use it as his weaponry. Now, you can get that article.
This is SAN, and you see it says unbiased, straight facts. Apple bags brain chip tech to control devices using thought.
Right there, Apple. Now, Apple is one of the biggest, most global, most popular companies ever. Why is they backing brain chips? They already have Siri. They already monitor your conversation. They got face IDs. They got pictures of you. The next step that this devil want to take is to get in your mind. They get you. You got it, bro. You probably just skip down into that main part, because this is the next thing that Esau or the Edomites want to push forth, man. You know, he don't want to push forth, 1776, man. You know, he don't want to push forth the 1950s. No, he's coming into a new age. And that new age is going to come out of the form of the MOTB. That's the way that the new world order is going to be enacted, man. You got it, bro.
It says more competition and potentially massive market. Synchron, backed by Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, isn't alone in this space. Neuralink, co-founded by Elon Musk, is also developing a BCI. But unlike Synchron, Neuralink's device requires invasive brain surgery. It involves the removal of a portion of the skull to implant a C-hip and sealing it back into place.
Now, this nigga Elon Musk is crazy, because he have an AI robot that's gonna do it. You know, but even then, they're comparing Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. These are the top dogs, quote unquote, supposed to be the top dogs in the social media status of Esau's kingdom. You know, this nigga Bill Gates came out with the Xbox. Elon Musk got the damn Tesla. So of course, people in America with that go along and get along, that wicked ass spirit. Even the Lord tells us that in Exodus, with 21st chapter, calling out a multitude to do evil, man. Because one thing that Esau's going to push forth with this C-hip is, as this is a form of popularity, man. You know, or you can't live without it. And to a certain extent, Esau's going to try to push forth that type of narrative. But we're going to be looking towards the Lord, man. You got it, bro.
It says, while interest in the field is rapidly growing, No fully implantable BCI has yet received approval by the Federal Drug Administration for commercial use.
Now, if I may add on that, because they're not made for commercial use, but they already approved the trials. You know, they already approved people testing it and get it. You got it. It's like if I may, in their commercial use, it's basically like them coming out with the iPhone. You know, they're gonna put it out on the market now. That's their commercial use, man. But behind closed doors, people is getting to see him up. You got it.
Right. As part of its clinical trials, Synchron's Stentrode has so far been implanted in 10 individuals, 4 in Australia and 4 in Australia and 6 in the US.
And yeah, and they 6 down. You know, they 666. They coincidentally, man. You know, June the 6th month. So, hey, the Lord, he's doing something, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he's a power that controls everything. And as we get closer and closer to the end, it's being made more benefit. Like it says, I think it's the Proverbs, it shines more and more into that perfect day. Because they get to the point that Bishop Nate cannot deny that the seed is a possibility that it's a part of the MOTB. You have to realize there's a difference between the image of the beast and the mark of the beast. You know, once you go into the image, it's basically the way of life. You know what I'm saying? A part of the image of the beast is the LGBTQ, Christianity, all those things. But you basically commit to those things is you putting that mark in. Like a woman, y'all dealing with each other, whatever, in the Western sense, and you know when y'all got serious, when you put that wedding ring on her, you consummate the marriage. A part of Esau consummating that marriage in this lifetime is putting that tiny device inside you, man. You know? But that's pretty much it on that. Matter of fact, continue on,
man. Industry experts say commercial approval could come as soon as 2030.
Yeah, commercial approval will come as soon as 2030. You got it.
With BCIs poised to revolutionize modern medicine.
Now I got something for you real quick. It's the book of Job 13 and verse 4. Ye are all forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. So again, they're going to try to use this as it's going to be something beneficial to you, people that's paralyzed, all those different things like that, that quote unquote modern medicine thing. When you go to modern medicine, that's basically talking about these people putting rods and devices in you, like a pacemaker. That's a part of modern medicine, man. And that's why you go into, I think it's around the early 1900s or the late 1800s, they did away with the herbs, bro. And they pushed forth, they started leaning towards this modern medicine. You know, you picking up, their pharmakia, you know. But again, that pharmakia, that witchcraft is actually going to lead into a physical device going inside your body. Because once you go into the synchron, even though they don't have to cut in your brain, at synchron, the main artifice device is going to be in your jugular vein. Now, if any brother know about that jugular vein, that's one of the most main veins in your body. And then one cut in that, in a matter of a couple seconds or a couple minutes, you dead, man. You bled out. Either way, man, you taking a damn risk if you trust in Esau, man. And niggas gonna take it regardless. Why people they're gonna be desperate, you know? But they'll pretty much on that article. We have a little video. We're gonna let this play, and then we're gonna get the scriptures. And one thing right here for we continuing on, this nigga eyes is yellow. And I ain't never met no healthy nigga with yellow eyes, man. Yeah, saying that spirit, he said this technology eventually, because he know that this is going to happen. Now, one thing that he mentioned that he can connect to everything. You know, I'm gonna let it pray a little bit more and get. Mhm. And that's it, because ultimately, when you connect with everything, yes, it's going to be a connection into your phone, into the Wi-Fi and the internet, but that's also going to be connecting you to this system. Now, real quick, it's a thing called the Internet of Things. It says the interconnection via the internet of computing devices embedded. Let's get that word embedded real quick, because that's going to show up in a minute when you go into that word corral. You know, let's get that word embedded. Please bear with me. Embedded, it says to fix firmly and deeply in the surrounding mass. It says what? To be implanted. Continuing on, to be embedded in everyday objects, enabling them to receive, to send and receive data. Now we're going to the Internet of Things. Now, the key part of the Internet of Things is the Internet of People, because the people is the one that make these things move. Even the Lord said that, you know, that is the Isaiah, the 10th chapter, around the 15th verse. And can the sword boast itself against the person that pick it up? And that's the same thing with like your phone. Your phone is the data, it's internet. You can go on Google and you can learn anything. But guess what? It ain't like it can do it on its own. No, it need a driving force to make things happen. Now we're going to the word of the Internet of People, the IOP. It says refers to the digitalization of relationships between people involving the collection, process, and application of personal data to create a collective intelligence and facilitate communication. It's a concept that focuses on connecting people, their data, and devices, enabling them to interact and share information through the internet. And a part of the information that's going to be stacked through the internet is your blood pressure, you know, your medical records. You know, if you have a heart attack, the police can automatically come and send refuge for you. But there's going to be a benefit of you being connected to the system. You probably can't even call 911 in the future without having to see help, man. You know? Again, here go another one. It says IOP refers to the connection and the communication capabilities between people enabled by the internet and other aware technologies, man. You know? That was pretty much it, man. You know? Because again, a part of you being a part of this system, being a part of this lifestyle, basically bowing down into the beast, is you saying that you can put that thing in you, man. You know? No, that was pretty much it. Like, you got some?
If I may, like it. Going back on that picture, that the video you just played, man, that just plain as day, man, what John seen. You know, they actually went in the man's head, you know, and put, you know, what John the Revelator saying, with starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone have been telling you, man, that micro C here. You know, you seen it going in his head. That's what John seen plain as day, man. You know, it ain't no denying at this point. You know, and that was just a vivid illustration. So, like, let me see. There it goes, just like that. Come on, man. That's the mark of the beast, man. You know, going in this man's head, what we warning you of, telling you not to take it, man. You know, it's here. You know, and so like if I may, was that the Habakkuk 2 and 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. You know, the vision speaking loud and clear, man. You can see it plain as day. All right, that this is the MOTB, man, going in this man's head. You know, and it's gonna be made mandatory that you take it to be able to buy or sell. You know, and that Habakkuk 2 and 3 say, you know, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It's gonna surely come a time where you're gonna need this in your hand or in your head, Salak, or in your hand to be able to buy or sell, man. You know, but Salak, y'all, you got it.
God, and it's beautiful. That's prophecy, man. The Lord spoke of these things from the beginning, but we are the only ones that can see it. And even again, all these other camps need to, get on their shit, and they need to start bringing it in, man. Because even like what they said, Noah brought in the flood. Now, when you start teaching the right doctrine, you starting to speed things up. Let's say if everybody work on a house and everybody doing the right thing to build the house get built in a timely manner. First you might have a couple knuckleheads, but Jake need to straighten the fuck up, bro. Because again, it's not talking about sleeping with white women. It's not talking about a damn embargo. The only thing you could be talking about is a little device going inside your body, man. Matter of fact, you got something else?
Hey,
go ahead and get the Revelation 13 and 16. Because again, that we go into that word Quran, man. That's prophecy jumping off the page for us. You got it, bro.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Now we've been touching on it. We've been touching on their foreheads all day. And the part of that word forehead, I know that word forehead goes back into the metal, but we're gonna go into the word charagma real quick. That word charagma, it goes back into what? A stamp, an imprinted mark. It says of the mark stamp on the forehead or of the right hand is a badge of the followers of the anti-Mashiach. Because a part of you being an anti-Christ or an anti-Mashiach or not being holy is you doing something that's against him. The Lord even told us that we shouldn't pierce our skin, man. That's, niggas talking about teaching the law. You should have taught the law when, them people was taking that Crown 19 shot. But at the same time, it says a stamp on the forehead as a follower of an anti-Mashiach or a follower of Esau. Because Esau is the perfect example of what not to be, man. So once you get that device in your right hand or in your butt cheek or in your forehead, that's you telling the Lord that you're not following him, that you're a follower of Esau. You're gathering yourself with the congregation of the wicked now. It says the mark branded upon horses. It says stains, carved, sculpture, graven work of an adulterous image, man. Because a part of you taking it C-hip is you, worshiping idols. So like, matter of fact, let me get something real quick just to bag that up. And we're going to jump back into that because, again, that's the ultimate form of idol worship. You putting that thing inside you. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 16. And I'm going to start at verse 60. Let's start at verse 67. It says, behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him. Yes, because there's going to be times that we're coming in when Jake is going to fear Esau. They're going to see the power, the power that Esau got. Niggas going to come out with drones and different technologies. And in the flesh, you might be scared, but it says, behold, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, he is the judge. He is the one that gave Esau the power. It says, fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. And all troubles is really talking about the time of Jacob's trouble. That's going to be the most trouble that we're going to be in at all times we've been upon the planet Earth, man. Because some brothers probably went through 70 AD. Some brothers probably went through the slave trade, the fall when Babylon sacked, when Babylon sacked the temple and all those different things. Jake, been through that. But in the times now, it's going to be the worst time ever. Continuing on, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. And there's you basically giving, when people say, what offer is you going to give to these idols? People say, I'm going to give a goat, I'm going to give a sheep. You giving yourself into that idol once you put that C-hip in you, man. Because now you giving Esau complete control, man. You basically give Esau complete submission. Now, yes, we have to be subjected into the higher power, but until a certain extent, man. When this nigga talking about doing unsavory things, then we have the integrity to say, hell no. Even if it leads into us getting put to death, man. At least we died in our righteousness. Continue on though. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision. Because why? Those who consent unto that sea, they're going to be condemned, man. They're going to know in their spirit they did something wrong. It says, in reproach and trodden underfoot. So ultimately, Esau's going to whoop your ass, man. For basically trusting in him. And this nigga might feed you for a day or two. You might be straight for a month. Or the Lord might make you might be straight until the missiles come. At the end of the day, man, these people who take the easy way out or the cheap way out by trusting in Esau is ultimately going to get a reward of destruction. But go ahead and go back into that Revelation on the 13th chapter, unless you had something to add, bro. You got it.
Con. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 16. And he called them all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Yes, and we just look up that word charagma. It's a step and it painted mark. You got it?
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Yes, and at the end of the day, that's going to be his biggest thing. Buying and selling, cutting off the food, forcing you to try to take this hip and bow down to his system. Again, that order out of chaos, order out of chaos. You got it?
Come. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Now that 666, it can represent, it's twofold. It can represent two things. Chi, psi, stigma. Once you go into the word Chi, it actually goes back into Esau exiting out the Lord. Psi goes back into their medical field. And stigma goes back into these people sticking you with that seal. And then it also can represent that universal product code. Let's see that. Universal product code. Right now. Once you go into the universal product code, that first one is 6, that middle two lines are 6, and that end line is 6, man. And that's what that represents. Basically, saying you're a product of America now. You're a permanent American once you get that C up on you, man. And they have to scan to prove it now. So yeah, I can. You got something to add up? Yeah. So yeah, I can. We pray that this be a time. We want to give our praise, honor, and glory. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh, Bahasham, honors to our apostle Ellis Fieldstone. Shalom.